Well, we're getting to the end of the high school cross country season, and the big races are coming up. And somebody who knows an awful lot about big races, not just in high school, but after high school. But real quick, Emily Sisson is with us here, and Emily made it to the Foot Locker Nationals 4 times, one of the few athletes ever to make it 4 times, and did very well, especially in her last one here. So as we get ready for this, Emily, real quick, kind of your memories of that. What do you remember from those 4 years there?
It's funny, they all kind of blend together now, but I do remember just the experience as a whole. And I remember a lot of the people I met. Like, I'm still really good friends with a lot of people that were on uh, the same team I was on, Midwest, or even like Northeast, other teams as well, and still competing against some people too, like Corey McGee. So it is really funny the things you remember. It's not the stuff you'd probably expect at the time, but looking back, it's a lot of the people and just the overall experience.
Well, Emily, you are now the American record holder in the marathon. This is your latest American record, but you just ran 2:18. What was it? 2:18:29.
Mhm.
You must still be flying high from that because what an awesome race you had.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun. That was an exciting one.
Yeah, we were in Chicago for that just in October. So, when you thought of life after high school, I mean, did you ever really think like I'm going to be this professional runner for, all these years that you've been around now for a while with New Balance, and it's pretty cool to watch you still tackle every goal that you set out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I thought that far ahead in high school. I remember meeting a lot of professional athletes at Foot Locker and thinking they were so cool and looking up to all of them and really admiring them and what they had done. But I think, I don't know, I was really focused on like college first and having a good NCAA career and kind of enjoying that time. And then as that came to a close, then kind of focusing on what I want to do after college, which was run professionally. So kind of just taking things as they come is kind of how I handled everything. But I do remember meeting the professional athletes and just being really inspired and yeah, really inspired meeting them and just hearing about their work ethic, everything they had done to get to where they were, and thinking that was really cool. So getting to pick their brain a bit back then.
Yeah, Carrie's right. You've been around a while, but you've had a 15-year or so career, but you're now running better than you ever have. So the mountain has still got a few steps to climb. Is the marathon you're now going to be your focus? I mean, gosh, you ran 2:18. Or do you go back to the track and go to the 10? What's the plan?
I still feel like a novice in the marathon, so I do want to run a lot more marathons and get a lot more experience. But I don't want to say I'm done with the track for sure. I think I'll still definitely hop on here and there. I don't know if I'll ever do a full season anymore, but I might hop on for USA's or a 10K in a marathon buildup. And I like to do, like, I want to do a lot of road races. I want to do half marathons. I want to do a bunch of different distances. I don't want to like lose touch with my speed. So I want to keep that there as well. So yeah, I don't want to put myself just in one box, but I do think the roads is going to be my main focus going forward. But I'm not done with the track completely yet.
I love your range. I mean, you're a sub 15-minute 5K gal. Like, you can obviously run so fast now for the marathon. Your half marathon is 107. Like, I mean, you have such range and you kind of really focus in on those distances and at the time, and you go for it. But one of the things, and you and I talk a lot about this in the interviews that I've done with you before, but you and your husband Shane train together, and he obviously helps you a lot with your mental training along with your physical training. But the one thing that I loved that you told me in Chicago was that you guys did some games mentally. And I think some of these younger athletes really need to hear how you train your brain. And you talked about doing Legos, and I think it's really cool. And I think that you and Shane need to develop an athlete line of Legos. Like, I am all for this. But talk about some of the things that you do, Emily, that you think could help these younger athletes train their brain, because a lot of kids don't necessarily do that.
Well, I could talk about that for like hours. So I think to try to condense it into a minute, I'll pick what I find the most useful, I guess. But yeah, the mental side of the sport is just huge. It can't be underestimated. And I think probably the biggest thing for me is trying to focus on like positive self-talk when I'm racing and when I'm working out and preparing for big races, and keep the like positive self-talk very genuine. Like I don't want to like say something that I don't believe. I have to find something genuinely good in whatever situation I'm in and kind of focus on that, cling on to that. If I'm going through a rough patch in a race, focus on like how my breathing feels good, or focus on how like I still feel really strong, and like whatever it is in the moment, just find something really good and positive to cling on to. And I think that's a big one, keeping things kind of fun, remembering at the end of the day, it is just running. Like running's meant to be fun. We do this because we want to push ourselves and challenge ourselves and see what our bodies can do. But yeah, just remember why you do it. And yeah, I think I could actually talk about the mental side of it so much, but I could talk about Legos too. But that was pretty useful in the taper. I got really into the Legos.
Yeah, you did the Legos. Why did Shane have you work on Legos?
I think everyone's a little different, and I mean, he's a therapist, so he knows me pretty well, and he can see that I'm the type of person that when I'm in my taper, I get just kind of antsy, and I'm just like ready to go. I get like a little impatient. I think impatience is probably one of my weaknesses as a runner. I just like want the race to come. And so he was like, why don't you just do something that's going to like really ground you? It's not that Legos are that challenging, but it just kind of like, it really like, it grounds you in the present because it involves like just like following instructions and using your hands and focusing on like whatever's in front of you. And so he's like, why don't you try that? And I actually found that pretty useful because yeah, tapers aren't my favorite. And for me that was really helpful. For someone else it might not be, but it could be something else. It could be puzzles, it could be reading, it could be just hanging out with your family or friends, anything like that. Everyone's a little different, so find what works for you. But for me it was actually pretty productive.
I thought it was brilliant. And to put a bag of Legos in your backpack and do it, I mean,
Yeah.
it's easy, but it works. And I loved it. So I want to shout it from the rooftops for you because I think kids, I learned from you and I think the kids can. So thanks, Shane, for giving you some Legos.
I'll tell him thanks.
Yeah, I want to challenge that Legos are not easy to put together. I raised two boys. Let me tell you, I spent hours and hours on the floor. Where is that doggone piece of the Star Cruiser now?
Oh yeah, if
Boy.
one piece is missing, then it can really throw you.
That's
And you
true.
definitely don't
That's
want to
true.
step on them. We don't want
Oh,
anyone
no.
stepping on them.
Yeah, I was more paranoid about my dogs eating some of the pieces, so I just really kept them on the table. I didn't want choking hazard.
Hey, you talked about the mental aspect and you talked about goals and all that. So, first off, let me ask just a fan question. At the end of that marathon in Chicago, you looked so easy. Was it? I mean, did you just feel that good? I mean, you made it look easy.
It definitely didn't feel easy, but I did feel good that day. I felt pretty good. And I think I did like measure my effort pretty well though. I think when I crossed the finish line, like I think that's all I had. I don't think I could have run faster than that, but I was pleased that I could keep picking the pace up. Like the further the race went on, I remember with like 6 or 7K to go, saying I think I can go faster, and then 2K to go again. Like okay, like let's go even faster. So that was good to be able to do that as opposed to when you feel like you're just hanging on for dear life. So that was really like it felt good, but it definitely wasn't easy.
Oh yeah, but boy, the thrill coming by the marks, each K, each 5K, you must have just got more and more jacked as you went along, huh?
Yeah, I just felt really good. I actually didn't see the only split I saw the whole race was my half marathon split, so I didn't see what the 5K ones were. But yeah, I think every time I came to another 5K, another like bottle station, I was like that much closer to the finish, and that really got me excited. So and then I was really motivated with like I think it was 2K to go or a mile to go that I could like stop running in a mile. So that helped me finish faster because I was like, the sooner I get there, the sooner I can stop running. So that really motivated me.
Well, Emily, you've come back to Foot Locker as a, counselor or coach type thing, and you were obviously there for 4 years as an athlete. But, when you think about Foot Locker, now Champs, like, what does it mean to you, and what's your first memory that comes to mind?
Oh, my first memory. Well, I actually have a lot of memories come back. But I do feel like it was one of my first introductions to running at a higher level, and I thought that was pretty cool. Getting to compete against some of the best like runners in the country was just really eye-opening and really fun. I saw it as like a really cool challenge and opportunity. And looking back, I remember the races a bit, but I do remember more just like how fun it was, and I remember the people the most. I know that sounds a bit cheesy and repetitive, but the people I met, I'm still friends with some of them today. It's just crazy. So that's what I remember the most.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's a good place to end. Emily, we really appreciate it. You were great when you were a coach with the kids at the Foot Locker. We always appreciate that. And it's going to be exciting to see a sub 216 marathon, sub 215 marathon, somewhere in there, but an Olympic medal in there in the future. And we'll say, hey, that's our girl right there. So anyway, Emily, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.